mean the H1b visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration, because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put
How did we ever do it before?
Since January 2025, Trump administration has been working on various issues, and one of the top priority for this administration is immigration reform, both illegal and legal immigration. Under legal immigration reform, one of the most talked about topic is coveted H1b visa. H1b visa is a work permit for foreign nationals to come down to United States and earn a living. In recent times, there are two extreme opinions about H1b visa. On one side, it is said that we do not need any more H1b workers, so let's abolish H1b program altogether. On the other extreme, it is said that we do need H1b visas, so keep it alive and even more add more positions from 85,000 per year to even more, to up that number. In September of 2025, President Trump passed an executive order asking new H1b visa workers and their employers actually to pay $100,000 as an application fee. This is not applicable to the students which are on F1 or OPT within the United States. This is for newly filed H1b visa workers. About a couple of weeks back, President Donald Trump appeared on an interview on Fox News with host Laura Ingraham, where she pressed President Trump about reducing or eliminating H1b visa workers. But to everyone's surprise, President Trump made some statements in favor of H1b visa. He said, we need H1b workers for US economy to grow. We cannot ask Americans to take experienced job positions. He even said we do not have enough talent in USA, which was a little offensive to his base, his supporters. During this interview, President Trump tried to explain that to build sophisticated systems and missiles and software and artificial intelligence models, we need experienced workforce that we need to attract from outside the United States. He also talked about the recent incident that happened in Georgia, where hundreds of South Korean workers were sent back, who were there in Georgia to set up a plant there to teach, to train people here in Georgia, USA. Looking at all these arguments, I got curious and I started to dig into numbers to find out the bottom of this H1b debate as to, is it possible to even eradicate H1b visa program altogether in next year, next 5 years, next 10 years. So I decided to put together a comprehensive video for you. Hello everyone, welcome to Hash University. Thanks for tuning in. We are living in a highly polarized environment where so many arguments, dissent and truths are being shared at an exponential scale. And it's very difficult to separate the noise from the actual data that you can rely on. So I decided to dig into this H1b argument and find out what's going on. So I spent a number of hours digging into different data and trends and opinions of some remarkable people and put together a comprehensive overview for you. So stay tuned, it's going to be worth your while. Let's start with understanding the H1b visa at a basic level. What exactly is an H1b visa? H1b visa is a non-immigrant visa that allows US employers to temporarily hire foreign workers in specialty occupations, which requires bachelor degrees, at least bachelor degree in a specialized field. This visa is an employer specific, that visa holder can only work for the sponsoring employer, and it's a dual intent visa. which means the visa holder can eventually apply for a green card, which is a permanent residency, while on H1b. A little bit about history of H1b visa. The concept of H1 visa goes back to Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952, which was created for aliens of distinguished merit and ability. In 1990, H1b was created for specialty occupations, and the annual cap was set at 65,000 visas. Now let's look at the process of H1b visa. It's not an easy process to get an H1b visa or sponsorship. After the employer hires, a petition has to be filed, I-129, which USCIS, followed by LCA, and then this application is entered into the lottery system, where 65,000 visas are available for the applicants, plus 20,000 for the applicants who have master's degrees from US institutes. And after this H1b visa is for 3 years, and after the 3 years are expired, it can be extended for next 3 years. And after those 3 years, total 6 years expire. Before that time, one has to initiate the green card process if the individual is qualified to do so. And during this H1b employer's tenure, the employees' families, immediate family members, or dependents, they can come to the United States on H4 visas. There's also cost associated during the entire process of H1b visa, such as the filing fee, the training fee, fraud prevention detection fee, and if the individual goes for asylum, then there is an asylum program fee. And if they want to expedite the process of the visa, which takes about a year or so, then you need to pay the fee for premium processing. Next obvious question could be, why do people choose to come to the United States? Why not anywhere else? Well, the United States is the world's largest economy with a nominal GDP of approximately $30.6 trillion, which accounts to about 26% of global economy. It ranks third globally in technological leadership. Also, US is the home of the world's most valuable innovation clusters, San Francisco, San Jose, Boston, Cambridge, which drives the majority of the global venture capital activity and high impact patent filings. So that explains US is the place to go, because US is nothing but a world market where you can perform your duties, you can put your skills to use and get paid handsomely. That is the reason that so many people from all around the globe poured towards the United States for a better life. Also, this decision to come to United States is driven by complex interplay of the factors, both that pushes an individual both outside their home countries and at the same time pull towards the US. The key motivators are economic opportunities. As said, US is economic superpower. Also, US is the law and order. So you get safety and security, and the American dream that is offered to each and every qualified individual. If you come to the United States and you follow the rules and regulations and do your due diligence and your duties, then no one can stop you from being successful. That's an American creed, right? That entices a lot of people. And also the family and education, that's one of the biggest factor that people value, their family and education. That every individual on the long term, they always look for the better options for their family, for the education of their children. That's another motivating factors for highly skilled individuals to leave their home countries to come to a foreign land for a better life. Recent arguments about the H1b visa in the US centered on whether H1b program really fills the talent gap, or is being used to replace the American workforce and suppress the wages. A major recent point of contention is the Trump administration's controversial $100,000 fee on the new H1b petitions, a measure facing legal challenges and strong criticism from business leaders. There are a few very well-known arguments against the H1b visa, which are wage suppression. It is said that the significant portion of H1b workers are paid below the local median wage for their occupation, indicating that program may not be exclusively targeting top-tier talent as intended. Another argument is the US workers are being laid off, allegedly, to force to train their foreign replacement as a condition of severance. And also there are some cases where the fraud and outsourcing have been reported. And some argue that the program creates disincentives for the American students to pursue STEM careers, pointing to recent high unemployment rates among computer science and engineering graduates. And one of the biggest arguments against H1b visa is abuse of this program poses a potential national security threat. Actually, there are some cases where some individuals working on some highly classified projects, and then they left the country and they took some of the secrets to their home country. On the other side of the aisle, there are some arguments for the H1b visas. Proponents, mainly from the tech industry, they argue that they need more and more H1b visa employees. Primarily from tech industry and many economists, they argue that H1b visa program is vital for American competitiveness and economic growth. Tech leaders like Elon Musk argue that there is a permanent shortage of high-skilled engineering talent in the USA, and visa is necessary to attract the top 0.1% of engineering talent globally. Studies have suggested that H1b workers complement US labor, drive innovation, increase patenting of new inventions, and contribute significantly to overall US economic productivity and creation of more jobs for native workers. It is also said that without access to skilled foreign workers, some experts suggest that US firms might be forced to shift operations and jobs offshore to countries like India and Canada. Also, sectors such as healthcare and education rely on H1b workers to fill critical shortages, particularly in rural and underserved communities. Many business leaders and advocacy groups, including US Chambers of Commerce, are challenging the new $100,000 fee in the code, arguing that it is unlawful skill penalty that would make the program prohibitively expensive for small business and non-profits. So we have arguments coming from both sides of the aisle. The political sphere arguing that H1b visa is doing more damage than good, whereas the people from the tech sector, the tech leaders and the owners of the businesses, a lot of people from Silicon Valley, they are speaking in support of H1b visas. Here I would like to present top 3 arguments about H1b visa. This comes from Elon Musk. He's pro H1b but favors the reform. According to Elon, there is a dire shortage of extremely talented and motivated engineers in America, and without visa, US will fall behind globally. He calls current lottery-based system broken and advocates reform to prevent abuse and significantly raising the minimum salary and adding annual maintenance fee. Another individual who spoke about the H1b program is Vivek Ramaswamy. He was one of the presidential candidates in last year's presidential elections, and he's also critical of the lottery system and calling it to be reformed as soon as possible. And he's a proponent of a merit-based replacement to the H1b visa. Next, Donald Trump has been quite fluid about the H1b visa as a whole. He introduced $100,000 fee on new petitions. However, recently in the interview with Fox, he was heard saying that H1b visas are needed for America to stay the leader in technical and innovation field. Now, so far, I talked about the H1b visa, what it means, how it works, and I have presented both these sides of argument, why people do not like it and why some people, especially the business leaders who are actually working in the field, in the business, developing outstanding products and services, and they know what is going on the ground level. So there's a disparity. This opinion of anti-H1b, it is mostly coming from the political sphere, and the proponent of H1b, this argument, this point, this is coming from the actual tech leaders like Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and even Donald Trump. Being a business owner for so many years, he knows the reality of the workforce, the skill requirement. So that's what they have been saying about H1B visa. Now, at this point, let's look at in the past 5 years data about the number of job in STEM field that open up every year versus how many of STEM graduates are available in US, who are the US citizens and permanent residents. So here's the data. If you look at since 2020, we were in the middle of the pandemic, there were about 2.8 million jobs, and the STEM graduates were only about 500,000. And out of these 2.8 million, about 250,000 to 250,000 jobs were for the newcomers, fresh graduates with 0 to 1 years of experience. And the trend continues that we are getting every year jobs from about 3 million to 3.5 million. The trend, in 2022, it went all the way to historic peak 4 million jobs, where entry-level jobs were 650,000 and the STEM graduates were only 510,000. So there was deficiency of about 140,000 employees. So we can see that from 2020, we went from hiring freeze. Then 2021, there was a high demand met supply, desperate for talent. And then in 2022, there were more seats than graduates. So there were more people needed and we did not have enough graduates. And then 2023, something different happened, which broke this trend. The interest rates rose and the junior roles were cut first. So there were a wave of layoffs during 2023. And then in 2024, last year, we had entry positions drop to 2.5 graduate. Then in 2024, we had entry posting drop, and then in 2024, we had entry postings drop to nearly 67%. And currently there is, in 2025, we have projected 3.5 million STEM vacancies, but only 500,000 US graduates to meet that demand. So this plot clearly indicates there is a fluctuation of the number of graduates available every year and the number of positions which are being offered in STEM field. But the number is higher, that in millions you need new workers, most of them are experienced, to support the demand, to keep the prowess of US in R&D and technical and economical field. You have to meet those 3 to 4 million jobs every year, but we do not have that much of the college graduates, both newcomers and the experienced ones, to meet that demand. So what these tech leaders have to do, they have to rely on the talent from outside the United States. Now let's look at the distribution of H1B visa. Who are the foreign national who are getting benefited the most out of this coveted H1B visa? So here is the graph. As per 2025 estimates, about 72% of the H1B visa is granted to citizens from India. Then distant second comes China, about 12%, and the rest of the world like Canada, Mexico, Japan, Russia, Europe, it takes about 16%. As I said before, majority of these visa holders, they hold master's degree. If you look at about 65% of them, they hold master's degree, whereas 30% of them have undergrad degree. And most of this job, about 65%, these are in computer-based domain. They are programmers and working on chip manufacturing, and so on. Then 10% goes in architecture, engineering, 5% in education, and others, most likely healthcare and arts or business, it takes about 20%. Here we also see 70 to 30% split between male and female population. That was quite an interesting plot to see, to learn about this spread. Who is getting benefited? Who are the qualified individuals who are able to obtain H1b visa? There is something to pay attention to. Out of the 72% of individuals who are getting this H1b visa every year, one should pay attention to the population of that respective country. In India, we have about 1.4 billion people. Out of those 1.4 billion people, we are giving away about 72% of 85,000 visas. Same goes for China. China is also about 1.2 billion people, and they are getting about 12% of this H1b visas. At this point, I went a little deeper to find out what's going on. Why India is a single country getting so many of STEM graduates. What is going on? So I looked into different parameters. I started off the general demography and the cultural part of it, and also the number of people getting married and also staying married, having kids, and how many kids are pursuing the STEM field for their education. So let's have a look. If you look at historical comparison between India and USA in past 5 to 6 years, you will see the percentage of people getting married varies. Also, the percentage of women who have ever given birth, that differs. So is the percentage of couples with kids. And also, it looks like it has a direct effect on number of students pursuing the studies in the STEM field. As per this plot, marriage remains nearly universal in India, but it is collapsing in the USA. In past 25 years, it dropped 5 to 7% from 85 to about 80, whereas in USA it dropped 9%, 9 points, from 57% already low to about 50%. They say by 2025, an Indian adult is about 65% more likely to be married than an American adult. Also, having children after marriage is still the strong default in India, but is kind of optional in USA. Among married Indian couples, 70% still have kids under 18 at home. In the USA, only 38%, almost half married couple now have minor kids. Marriages in USA is increasingly childless by choice or circumstances, but in India, it is still overwhelmingly child-oriented. Another thing to note from this data is the voluntary childlessness is rising fast in the USA, but only marginally in India. In USA, it rose from 15% in 2002 to 18% in 2022. In India, only about 10 to 12% individuals are childless. The child-free lifestyle is becoming a significant minority choice in the USA. It remains culturally rare in India. Looks like these three factors have a bearing on the fourth one. That is why India continues to produce roughly twice the proportion of STEM graduates. In India, about 34 to 40% of tertiary graduates in STEM throughout the period, whereas USA, we have about 17 to 18% at bachelor level. Even though US attracts mainly foreign STEM graduates later, its domestic pipeline remains far less STEM focused compared to India. So in short, in past 25 years, India has preserved high marriage, high fertility, high STEM society with only modest erosion, while the US has moved rapidly towards delayed or low marriage, optional childbearing after marriage, and persistently low domestic STEM graduation rate. The two countries are moving in opposite directions on all four metrics. So far in this video, we have established that there are millions, about 3 to 4 million job openings, because US is one of the pioneer in artificial intelligence, space, travel, Companies like SpaceX is here, and also other social media companies like household names such as Facebook, Amazon, WhatsApp. They are all based in Silicon Valley in USA. So they need this global talent. That's why there are so many millions of job openings are there every year, and those had to be met in a timely manner. That's why all these tech gurus and tech leaders such as Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, they are proponent of H1b visa, because these people are the ones, they are seeing the talent gap and they want H1b visa to be alive. Is there any way to replace it completely? Can it be replaced within 5 years or 10 years? In the last plot, as I showed, the number of STEM graduates we need prepared and trained within US citizens and green card holders, you need to match that vacancy number to make it happen. If not, then the tech industry is going to suffer largely if this H1b program is abruptly abolished without thinking about the long-term consequences. Looking at this plot here, US ranked number 1 in economic scale, innovation, R&D, and key tech dominance. And all of these has been possible. It is a compound effect of this US policy to attract global talent and keep them. And this has been paying off in past for decades actually. If you look back, there are many individuals not born in USA. They came from different parts of the world, and they came here, they assimilated, they contributed hugely towards US economy. And if given the chance, I think yes, it's gonna continue. However, if current administration, they want to replace the H1b program altogether, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be happening in 5-10 years. Maybe it might take decades. And for that, the American education system has to be revamped altogether. As this plot shows here, the number of STEM graduates per year in United States, they are not able to meet the demand of H1b visa. The number of STEM graduates, they are not there yet. They had to be increased at least 3 to 4 times. And for that, this current administration has to take various steps to make it happen. All right. So this was the comprehensive overview about H1b visa, how it works, how it affects US economy, and why India as a country is a dominant beneficiary of this H1b program. Hope you liked this video, you learned something, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. I think I spent about 8 to 12 hours to do the research and put this all things together, record and edit and upload for you. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.